Wednesday morning, it's McCollum on Business. I'm Stephen McCollum. For the next 30 minutes or so, I'm going to get you updated on what's happening around the business world. Of course, we got the market watch, stocks we're paying attention to, and all your local and national stories that you need to know as well. And we got an update on the Treasury yields going up yesterday again. Little U.S. dollar talk here coming up in just a few minutes. But, of course, we always start. Let's get into it. It's the Market Watch. Well, folks, how's today going? A lot better than yesterday. Although the Dow Jones is still negative right now, it is trending in the positive side of things. It's 9 points down right now to 49,341. The S&P 500's up 17 points to 73.68. The Nasdaq's up 107. Chip stocks are rebounding today. We're waiting for NVIDIA to do their announcement on their earnings later on today, kind of driving up those chip stocks. Nasdaq's up 100 points right now to 25,971. Then you got the Russell 2K, 27 points up for the Russell 2K. That small cap index is trading at 2771 right now. And then you got Bitcoin. It's up today, but still underneath that 80,000 level all week here. It's been below that 80,000 level after getting down to that 77,000 level, which it's been a month or so since it's been down at this level. Bitcoin staying steady at 77,078 as of right now. So 77,044 is what we'll call it, as it's continuing to go down as we sit here and talk about it and stare at it here. Bitcoin's doing its job there, I guess, by changing constantly. Hey, stocks we're paying attention to early this morning. Well, we got Lowe's out there. You know them, the home improvement company. 3.63% down as the market has been open. It has continued to go down as well for the home improvement stock. We saw Home Depot the other day say that their sales were resilient. And their core shoppers at Home Depot, they specifically said, we're still continuing to buy from them. And that was the big takeaway from the Home Depot stock out there. Well, Lowe's, they did beat estimates in earnings and revenue in its first quarter financial report. They did reaffirm its full-year guidance as well. But Lowe's did acknowledge a challenging macro housing market backdrop. Home Depot did not acknowledge that, so their core shoppers were still strong in the face of gas inflation or gas prices. Lowe's, on the other hand, saying that housing market backdrop is not good. Well, Lowe's is down 3.49% today based off of their reporting as well. Then you got Target out there. You know Target for some of you. 7.03% down for Target. They reported a beat on its first quarter numbers as well. They even hiked their full-year sales outlook. They earned $1.71 per share, revenue of $25.44 billion. The expectation was only $1.46 per share for Target. They came in at $1.71. Big number beat there for them. Their revenue expectation was $24.64 billion. Well, they came in at $25.44 billion. Almost $1 billion increase, for them out there. And yet they're still down 7.09% here today. As you see, once the market opened, a big drop here. Kind of gone up and down here this morning as well. But Target is down 7.07% despite beating their numbers yesterday as well. And then you got NVIDIA. We're going to just look at their stock here this morning. As I said earlier, they're the world's most valuable company. Well, but they're set to report earnings after the bell later on today. Everybody's gearing up for it. The expectation is good numbers. No shock here for NVIDIA. They're up 0.71% here today on the expectation of their reporting later on today as well. When we come back later and look at stocks, we will look at some other chip stocks out there, namely Intel. We're going to look at Red Robin Gourmet Burgers as well. Red Robin, yum, and TJX companies. We talk about Ross a lot here on this program. Let's look at the other, bargain shopping company out there, TJX companies, obviously TJ Maxx and companies there as well. We'll look at their stock coming up as well. But first, let's get you updated, right? Yesterday, we told you 30-year Treasury yields went up to 5.18%, highest in a long, since 2023, if I remember correctly, on that. Here's what kind of surrounding that move as well, because the U.S. dollar hit a 6-week high early this morning. Investors are basically coming to the realization that it's possibly there's going to be a need for higher interest rates to tackle the inflation that we're seeing right now. And a lot of that inflation, they're blaming on the Iran war out there. So there's a lot of uncertainty in the market now as traders, investors, we might have a rate hike coming our way. The uncertainty over when the Iran war may end, well, it's basically caused a lot of inflation fears out there. It's triggered a global bond sell-off as well. We told you there the 30-year Treasury bond hit its highest level since 2007. It went up even higher yesterday after we went off air. The dollar index, it tracks the currency against 6 of its peers. The dollar index rose 0.1% to its highest since April 7th. It's at $99.47. It was last flat at $99.32 at that time. The index is up more than 1% in May, and a lot of that due to safe haven demand and markets pricing and chances the Federal Reserve hikes interest rates at the end of this year. People are preparing. Investors are preparing for a rate hike before the end of the year. By contrast, the euro, it fell to a 6-week low of 1.158, $1.15 basically, before recovering to trade. Little changed. The British pound, no, it's roughly flat at 1.3401. The Australian dollar, which that one everybody pays attention to because that's seen as a barometer for risk sentiment. Well, it ticked up 0.3%. It dropped 0.9% yesterday. 0.3% it ticked up here this morning in trading here on Wednesday. Traders are pricing in more than a 50% chance of a Fed rate hike by December of this year. We get this from the CME Fed Watch as they report on kind of what everybody's thinking in the investment world. Obviously, that's a big reversal because going into this year in the first month of Fed meetings, everybody was thinking there'd be 2 cuts expected this year. And now they're saying a Fed rate hike by December, and 50% of people are saying that is in line coming up as well. All to kind of curb that inflation that is ticking up here since that Iran war did start. So, another situation happening. We got midterm elections coming up in November as well out there. Another thing that's going to affect this economy, and whether you're buying a computer or not buying a computer, a lot of people are, a lot of companies are out there. And we have a big issue with memory. We told you there's a shortage with memory components because of AI. Well, it could get worse here, which is going to drive up also pricing on a lot of items out there, from cell phones, radios, anything with a computer in it. It's going to be affected here, and basically a big strike happening overseas in the Asian markets. Basically, talks between Samsung and Electronics Co. and its largest labor union. Well, those talks aren't going well out there. They've officially been called off, which raises the prospect of a strike. And that strike, it's going to disrupt global chip supply. Yeah. And not only is it going to affect the Korean economic growth over there with Samsung, again, there's already a shortage. Korea's the biggest chip maker, memory maker out there. And now they could no longer be producing stuff coming up, which is going to add to that pricing pressure on anything with a computer in it. A general work stoppage will go ahead coming up on Thursday after Samsung's management did reject a proposal from the government mediators. That proposal had been accepted by the union and everything, so the company is the one rejecting it now as well. Well, South Korean labor minister did come out and call for direct negotiations between the two sides since the government mediation did not work. But it is unclear whether that intervention could resolve the differences between the company and the union. Obviously, Samsung shares have dropped out the bottom of them. They went down about 4.4%. They did recoup them yesterday in afternoon trading with that news, but it's still teetering on the negative side for Samsung as well. This collapse in negotiation puts the global technology supply chain at risk. Samsung is the world's biggest supplier of chips that go into devices from data center servers, smartphones, electronic vehicles, televisions, anything with computers in them are going to be even more affected here as well. The global AI infrastructure rollout has enriched all Korean companies as a whole on a scale that not seen before, but it did put Samsung on track to become one of the world's most profitable firms this year. Its semiconductor arm posted a 48-fold jump in profit for the March quarter, and that's probably why the union's asking for so much, right? Samsung said negotiations failed even after the company accepted the majority of the union's requests, including those related to bonuses. But they rejected it because they say that they continue to do excessive demands on top of what the company agreed to. So, if it's not oil, right, which oil prices are dropping today, right? They're just going down today for whatever reason. But no news out of the Middle East other than bombing could Peru start over again over there in the Middle East. But now chip pricing is going to continue to be a big issue here coming up as well. And then we got other problems, folks. Like, I just feel like a bad person here today. Don't shoot the messenger. Now we've got record-setting droughts, hotter than average temperatures in the Midwest specifically. And then this is all impacting much of the U.S. earlier this year so far. And the Plains region there in the Midwest and the Plains region just south of the Midwest, specifically Kansas area. Well, it's causing a lot of problems with crops. Drought conditions have worsened the spread of the wheat streak mosaic virus, barley yellow dwarf virus. They are prevalent for wheat crops so far, which obviously has impacted the potential of the wheat crop. Then climbing input costs related to fertilizer due to the Middle East, the diesel fuel costs, these equipment to run and harvest and do all the stuff you need to do on wheat fields, all run on diesel fuel. We know what diesel fuel has done since the war began. But then you got tariff issues as well weighting down this industry. But longtime wheat farmers say they're feeling a lot of pain in this year. Crop estimates underscore just how bad the situation is. Growers will see their smallest wheat crop in terms of production since 1972. Yeah, we get that number from the U.S. Department of Agriculture. They're only going to do 1.56 billion bushels this year. That's what they've done before, excuse me. They're down to this year 1.05 billion bushels this year. Big drop there in terms of how many bushels of wheat. And people are going to ask, well, why is this important to me? Folks, wheat is very important to our economy and also to you in the grocery store. So Kansas is a big issue here. Kansas is one of the top overall producers of wheat in the United States. Only in 5 of the past 40 years has Kansas wheat crop been in such a bad state. As well, 58% of the crop rated as poor or very poor as of May 17th. The last time the fields were in as bad a condition was during a severe drought back in 2023. This year, now it's so bad, many wheat growers have been forced to file for crop insurance or even consider whether they can lean on other crops to withstand the uncertainties around the wheat side of things. Wheat is an integral part. You can't even export it as easily now with tariffs out there. Then you've got other countries like Russia has really increased their wheat growing, for instance, and they're flooding the international markets as well. So it's just big economy staples. Samsung and now wheat all affecting the United States market here. And it's all hitting at once. That's the difference here. The normal years. Normally a bad wheat crop, well, you can withstand that a little bit because other things are good. And it's just everything right now. It's kind of hitting at once out there on the market. And then, pour one out here because this is the end of an era coming up here. Now, I know this was like a joke type company or alcoholic beverage from when I was a kid and everything. But it was one of America's most dominant beer brands at one time. And now, 175 years of existence, and it's being put on hiatus, is what they're saying they're doing, which basically means discontinued now. So it survived 175 years, now out, moving forward. Folks, Schlitz Premium is the beer brand that does trace its roots back to Milwaukee in the 1840s. It was once among the largest breweries in the country. As I said, being put on hiatus, according to Pabst Brewing Co. They confirmed that on Friday after Wisconsin Brewing Company announced it would brew the brand's final batch later this month. So, I mean, this is an icon beer here. No doubt about it. Survived 175 years until now. The brand became famous for its longtime slogan, the beer that made Milwaukee famous. It was even once the nation's largest brewery before Anheuser-Busch overtook it back in the late 1950s. The company was originally founded all the way back in 1849. A gentleman named August Krug opened a tavern brewery in Milwaukee. Joseph Schlitz later took over the business after marrying Krug's widow and helped transform it into one of the world's largest beer brands. Now, it did rise to prominence, but it was way back in the 1871, right after the Great Chicago Fire. Yeah, check your history books, folks. That was when the brewery shipped beer to Chicago because residents struggled to access clean drinking water. They were like, you don't have clean drinking water? Have some Schlitz. Now, they did lose huge popularity in the 1970s. Cost-cutting recipe changes altered the beer's flavor. The brand was later sold to Stroh Brewing in 1982, and then Pabst acquired it back in 1999. And now Schlitz Premium, going by the wayside after 175 years on the marketplace as well. And interesting enough, right? They come out with pickle beer. Pabst does, and now Schlitz is going away. I don't know if there's any correlation there. Interesting story here in the home buying world out there. Single Gen Z women, they're outpacing their male counterparts when it comes to buying a home currently. Gen Z women account for 35% of all home buyers in their generation. Single Gen Z men, they represent 18%. We get this from a survey from the National Association of Realtors. NAR surveyed people who bought a home between July of 2024 and June of 2025. The survey indicated home buyers from several generations. So Gen Z, by the way, if you don't know, is 18 to 26 as well, all the way up to the older generations, like the silent generation. They're 80 to 100 years old. No other generation had a bigger share of single women home buyers than Gen Z. The survey data is the latest sign that single women overall are becoming homeowners at greater rates than single men are. Single women across the generations made up a quarter of all home buyers in the July of 24 to June of 25 period. Single men, well, they accounted for 11% of all home purchases. This has been a long-standing trend going back to at least 1981. Back in 2006, that was the height of that early 2000s housing boom. The share of homes bought by single women peaked at 22% at that time. For single men, their share of homeownership peaked at 12% in 2010. Overall, Gen Zers, as I said, now this survey had Gen Zers as 1999 to 2011, those years. It still only made up 4% of the home buyers during the survey period. So there's not a lot of them buying houses, but the ones that are definitely Gen Z women as well. At the time of this survey from the National Association of Realtors, the share of U.S. homes bought by first-time buyers of all ages, it sank to the lowest level on record going back to 1981 as well. And the story had a lot of reasons why, women getting advanced degrees more and more now, in higher numbers, I should say, trending up on the higher degrees, which means making more money. But I'll even go so far as to, me personally, I'll say women are better with money, especially single women can tend to save more, things to that effect as opposed to men. And I know some people disagree with me on that, but I've seen the way men spend money sometimes. And on stupid things like Star Trek figurines. That felt personal, didn't it? I felt like that was personal. Hey, folks, when we come back here at McCollum on Business, we'll keep it rolling as well. We'll look into the local stories coming up. Red Robin, TJX Companies, Intel. just following us here at TME Media AZ. Appreciate those of you watching us right now as well on Robat TV and on YouTube. We'll come right back. McCollum on Business, Wednesday edition. Come back here to McCollum on Business here on this Wednesday. Man, that that Schlitz Premium one really hit the memory cycle as well. Papa Mike checks in as well. Oh, actually, him and Robert are checking in this morning. Robert says, tuned in, and Steve is the good news bearer this morning. Well, thank you. That's the problem with the business side of things, man. I only can report on what's out there. And some days I just feel like, negativity to start the morning, right? As well. Papa Mike does say, black is better than red, but not as good as green. Well, I agree with that 100%, Papa Mike as well. Papa Mike also says, ooh, that was a thick beer, meaning Schlitz Premium. And then Robert also says, love those James Coburn commercials. Coburn commercials. Yeah, I mean, Schlitz Premium commercials were amazing ones. If you go back, go to YouTube. I'm sure they have them on there as well. But 175 years and gone, right? Right off the bat, they survived that long. Hey, folks, as you just saw there, right, The Real Matrix, that comes out on Fridays at noon on Rumble, where we do a lot of our on-demand programming, as well as on the podcast systems at noon on Friday as well. Then, of course, as soon as we're done here at McCollum on Business, we put this up on demand, Robat TV, YouTube, and then, of course, over at Rumble as well here, McCollum on Business. Then we roll right into the main event. Me and 17-year NFL veteran Dale Hellestrae will get you caught up on the sports. Fantastic NBA basketball game again last night. Went into overtime from that. The NHL Final Four begins tonight. You got Colorado, Vegas, of course, Diamondbacks. Good fashion, old-fashioned walk-off win last night. We'll put it that way. By Ketel Marte waking up and showing us that he's still capable of doing those things. We'll talk about all that, plus more, coming up on the main event here as well. All of our programming, and by the way, the pit stop this week, because of the high school graduation I've got to attend this week, pit stop will be up on Friday this week. So for you pit stop fans out there as well, we'll get that posted out. There's no way to get it done with the graduation tomorrow and the events today. No way we can get it done before Friday. So big racing weekend, Indy 500, Coca-Cola 600, folks. It's going to be a fantastic show. So please make plans on Friday. I know normally you're used to Wednesdays. Please make plans on Friday to catch that as well for the weekend coming up for you. Of course, you can catch all of our programming on Robat TV, on the YouTube page, TME Media AZ. Follow TME Media AZ on X as well. That's our parent company. That's where we'll put the announcements out on shows, what we're doing around here as well. After I get through these next couple of days, well, we're going to be sitting down with some people interested on coming on board and helping us grow some programming and change a little bit of formats out there, helping us get guests on like this business program. So we're excited about some of this stuff that's about to change here as well. we'll get moving forward seriously on that stuff. So you want to stay tuned. You want to follow and subscribe to TME Media AZ as we will be doing some off-show stuff, some mini shows coming your way with the blockbuster movie season starting as well. We're going to start that movie trend, that movie review trend, just a quick 15, 20, 30 minutes, whatever it takes to do a movie review. It's going to be not an hour long or a half hour show in terms of its format. You're going to want to follow TME Media AZ on YouTube for that stuff. Everything will be posted on Rumble as well on demand, so follow us on Rumble if you don't like YouTube as well, but everything will be on demand at Rumble, including The Real Matrix is over there every Friday. Rumble.com/user/TME Media is where you can find our programming over there as well. So definitely stay in touch with us with that as well. And share us with your friends if you would. That'll be very good. Ann says, hooray! Looking forward to the movie reviews. Yeah, it's just going to be one of those things. It's just going to be a show. I'm thinking about doing it from the home fortress. But if not, we can just come in here, do a quick movie review pretty much right after we see it, and get it out there. That includes streaming, movies, etc. That's why I'm thinking the home fortress, because it's easier just to just walk in there and put down and record it. And, hey, we'll play with the format. We'll see how it goes. We'll improve it. We'll sometimes ruin it, and then we'll go back to improving it. It's going to be a lot of fun. We have a lot of things coming up over this summer as well, folks. And with all that being said, let's get right into that Market Watch. Man, oh man, market is up today everywhere. For Papa Mike's sake, I'm going to say everything's in the green here. And it's just depends how it goes, because I like to say black because that's what's on my screen. The Dow Jones is up 318 points right now for the Dow Jones. The S&P 500 is up 52 points. Oil has fallen today, folks. Of course, everybody's waiting for NVIDIA's reporting here after the market closes today. And the NASDAQ, it's up 257 points here today as well. Chip stocks have rebounded. We'll look at Intel coming up in stocks we're paying attention to. Then you got the Russell 2K. That's up 24 points right now. The Russell 2K is up 51 points right now, for that small cap index. And then Bitcoin, it's trading in that 77,423 level as of right now as well. Stocks that we're paying attention to. Let's go with the food stock here. Red Robin, yum. 12.99% up right now. The burger chain, if you don't know what they are. I love the advertising. I'm not a fan of their burgers, though. I know people, around me are, but all right. 13.77% up right now. If you love their burgers, obviously, you're going there a lot. They posted first quarter adjusted earnings of 13 cents per share. Well, they were only expected to break even. So y'all are eating a lot of Red Robin. Yum. The company's $378.3 million in revenue. Well, it beat the expected revenue amount of $362.1 million as well. So Red Robin, fantastic numbers there today. TJX companies, this would be TJ Maxx and some other chains out there, is the next stock that we are going to look at. And they're up today 4.88% right now. They reported better than expected results in its first quarter. TJX delivered $1.19 in earnings per share. Analysts were only expecting $1.02 per share for them. They also had $14.32 billion in revenue. The expectation was only $14.02 billion. The problem that TJ Maxx or TJ Companies has, they're up 4.85% right now, but they gave slightly weaker guidance for this current this current quarter, which is interesting because Ross kind of did the same thing. And a part of me wonders, right? School's getting out. People aren't going to shop for clothes as much, I guess. So they're expecting a slightly weaker guidance for this current quarter. Obviously, summer break is ahead of us here for school shopping. I don't know if that's part of it. I did not look into TJ Maxx's wording and what they talked about for that slide in governments, but makes sense in my mind at least. And then we're going to look at Intel here, obviously a big presence here in the Valley. 7.64% up today. Basically, all the semiconductor stocks have rebounded today. The iShares Semiconductor ETF, Well, it's up more than 2%, which has all of the major semiconductors in that ETF, up 2%. Intel, of course, up 7.61% right now. We showed you NVIDIA earlier, slightly up. What was it, 0.75% roughly for NVIDIA at that time, as we're waiting for NVIDIA's numbers today. NVIDIA's reporting is probably going to be good and beat expectations. Their guidance is probably going to be good. We're just anticipating that, which means other chip stocks are going to be in the same situation in terms of their stocks. Sympathy there with NVIDIA, and it's going to pull up that whole market. And it looks like it's doing that this morning after chip stocks kind of being very volatile lately as well, up and down out there. Let's get into some local stories that you need to know as well. And there's such a thing as the Arizona Geothermal Project. It's out there, folks. And a state board that regulates drilling, they've greenlit a new geothermal exploration wells, and it's in Greenlee County here in Arizona. So the governor's office says it's a step toward expanding geothermal energy projects here in Arizona. So they were approved by the Arizona Oil and Gas Conservation Commission. We have way too many commissions here inside of our governments, in my opinion, but they're part of a project to use, these wells are part of the project to use geothermal energy to directly power the Freeport McMoran's Morenci mine, which is, if it's not the largest copper mine in North America, it's definitely one or two up there as well. This exploration is a company called Zanskar doing this, is supporting this exploration as well. So Governor Katie Hobbs says the so-called Miles High project, it could entice more geothermal developers to the state as well. So Hobbs' office in a statement said new technology advancements mean geothermal could be a valid utility energy source. That's the state's geology has previously blocked traditional projects out there as well. So helping a big copper mine out there, but it is something being tried out, moving forward out there as well. So that's just something to pay attention to if you're, I mean, how's that going to destroy the earth and our state and the way it looks, et cetera, is kind of the question that you would have on the other side. Speaking of semiconductors, right? Taiwan Semiconductor is out there. And then we know how big they are here to the valley in just a short time up there at I-17 in the 303 roughly area. Well, they're set to deploy $20 billion into its Arizona subsidiary because they're moving forward with building out that massive, even more buildings up there on that North Phoenix site. TSMC's board, if I can say that, on May 12th, they approved a $20 billion capital injection into TSMC Arizona as part of the company's overall $165 billion investment in that North Phoenix fab site. So they want to meet long-term capacity plans, forecasted market demand as well, because, folks, chips aren't going to slow down with this AI investing going on and things. But the TSMC's board also approved $31 billion in capital appropriations for fab construction and installation of advanced technology capability and facility systems across its global subsidiaries as well. So, yeah. Oof. This is on top of earlier this year, they moved their annual capital expenditures. They increased it to $52 billion to boost the N3 capacity and then support that multi-year pipeline of demand for those 3-nanometer chips. The 3-nanometer chips are the ones used in smartphones, AI stuff, and those high-end computers out there. So a lot of money being pumped into Arizona here and getting those fabs done up there in North Phoenix as well. And little charity story for you out there, right? Every January we have the Waste Management Phoenix Open. Well, we now know the Thunderbirds raised a record $20.1 million for charity from this year's WM Phoenix Open, if I say it properly as well. So, since Waste Management has been the title sponsor since 2010, the Thunderbirds and the WM Phoenix Open have raised more than $180 million for local charities. If you go back the whole the 91 year, I wanted to say 101, but it's 91 year history, of the golf tournament. Well, the tournament has contributed more than $246 million to benefit nonprofits across Arizona. And if you just go the last 10 years, $134 million just in the last 10 on top of it as well. So the WM Phoenix Open, if you don't know, huge charity event. It's all about the parties and the money spent and having a good time out there and everything. But record-breaking $20.1 million for local charities this year. Highest single-year total in the tournament's history. So there is a nicer side to the tournament than just golf and everything else you hear about it out there as well. It's the fourth consecutive year the tournament has set a new fundraising record. Last year's record was $18.1 million as well. So WM Phoenix Open and the Thunderbirds doing good as like they always do out there. And now we got a couple food things here for you. Well, one definite food thing. One has to do with a food company out there, but yeah, well, we'll talk about some drink buckets coming up. But first, who doesn't love some Jell-O? Can't get enough Jell-O in my life, to be honest with you. And now officially, Jell-O is coming more towards natural ingredients, folks. Yes. So we know they have bright rainbow colors, all artificially made color gelatins by Jell-O. Well, it's getting a line of products made without the synthetic colors or artificial sweeteners, all because consumers are demanding natural ingredients out there. Jell-O is getting in on that bandwagon. Jell-O is owned by Kraft Heinz Co., if you didn't know. But they announced and they unveiled Jell-O Simply. It's a line of pre-made gelatin that the company said is made with fruit juice, has at least 25% less sugar than the regular version. The ready-to-eat range is available in stores. It comes in 3 flavors: orange, raspberry lemonade, and blueberry. How do you not have strawberry yet? Or cherry? Yeesh. But the head of marketing for desserts at Kraft Heinz said the products are colored using vegetable juice, fruit juice, and an extract derived from turmeric roots out there. Kraft Heinz said it would expand the Jell-O Simply brand in August to include vanilla and chocolate instant pudding and banana and strawberry gelatin mixes as well coming up. So they're coming out with them. They're just not out on this original amount as well. So Jell-O, I'm curious on how this tastes. More natural from that side. Does it taste better? Or does it taste not as good as what I'm wondering here? And I also hope, and I don't have pricing on this, but I also hope it doesn't cost a ton more than regular Jell-O as well. But I'll do that investigation because let me some Jell-O out there. And then, folks, everybody's, well, not everybody's, but a lot of people's favorite breakfast place out there. Yeah, if you're a big caffeine person, if you like big sippers, Dunkin' has something for you. It's called the Dunkin' Bucket, and it is here, folks. It has arrived. Dunkin's launching a 48-ounce beverage buckets at locations nationwide. This was all confirmed to USA Today that it's there. The buckets can be filled with iced coffee or refreshers. You can fully customize them. They don't come pre-made. Customers can choose their preferred flavors and sweetnesses in these buckets. So 48 ounces, folks, for these buckets. Yeah. They tested the buckets in a limited number of locations over in Massachusetts and New Hampshire. Dunkin' fans, though, you better act fast, as buckets will only be available for a limited run coming up. 48-ounce beverage buckets, folks. All right, so they're available nationwide on May 22nd, is what Dunkin's is saying in a statement. Each store will have just 25 buckets available. So do not delay on May 22nd getting to the store to get one. So they obviously, if you can see the screen there, they bear the Dunkin's logo and come with a handle and a straw, and they're only $12.99 each. It's a 48-ounce drink container, $12.99 each, folks. That's what I said only. After initial purchase, buckets are not refillable either at Dunkin' locations. Yeah. Becomes a coin holder, popcorn, a home popcorn bucket. afterwards and stuff like that. Yeah. There you go, folks. If you're interested in Dunkin' 48-ounce Dunkin' buckets, May 22nd, get to the store early. $12.99 for 48 ounces of your favorite beverage from Dunkin' as well. I know when those were first kind of announced on social media and it was kind of the craze and rumored, the rumor was then you could only get a couple drinks in there is what you could do. But now they say you can get the whole range of drinks there at Dunkin' as well. So, hey, fans of that, definitely check that out if you are interested in that much. Papa Mike says, Papa Mike says, excuse me while I trip over my comments here. He says, the Home Fortress. I remember the first shows from there. I also remember the original intern. Yes, the original intern. She's still around. Doesn't want to be called intern anymore out there as well. But then Papa Mike says, wait, all this Jell-O I've been eating isn't natural? No. It even says on there artificial flavors and colors on the Jell-O containers as well. I know he's being sarcastic, folks. And then he says, with the cup, straw, and liquid, it probably costs Dunkin' $1.50 per drink. Yeah, only $12.99. And they'll be snatched up. Only 25 per location. Be interesting to see if those sell out quickly at that price point with the drink in it and not refillable as well. That's kind of the interesting thing to me at that price point and things. You just kind of thought like maybe it'd be like a $3 refill or something, but not refillable at all. So you're basically buying a 48-ounce bucket with the Dunkin' logo on it. Is what you're doing out there. Folks, appreciate you joining me here from McCollum on Business. We'll be back on Thursday, 7 a.m. here as always. We're going to roll into the main event here live, 8 to 10 a.m. on Robat and TME Media AZ on YouTube as well. Everything on demand on Rumble, rumble.com/user/TME Media. And then, of course, on YouTube as well, TME Media AZ. We'll see you tomorrow, folks. Have a great Wednesday night.